Hi. In this set, we have the management of a university hockey team was evaluating performance of 4 women players A, B, H and S for the possible selection in the university team for the next year. For this purpose, the management was looking at the number of goals scored by them in the past 8 matches numbered 1 through 8. Okay. So there are 8 matches and these are the 4 players, and we need to figure out what are the goals scored by these 4 players in these 8 matches. There are certain conditions given. The 4 players together had scored a total of 12 goals. Okay. So the total goals scored in all these 8 matches together is 12. So the total must be 12. In the 8 matches, each of them had scored at least 1 goal. So each player A, B, H and S together in the 8 matches, they must have scored at least 1 goal. So the total goals scored here, this should be greater than equal to 1, greater than equal to 1, same here and same here. Okay. And no 2 players had scored the same total number of goals. So this value, this value, this value and this value, all these 4 values are going to be different such that their total should be equal to 12. Right? So total score of all the players must be 12 and total goals of all the 8 matches must also be 12. Fine. So let's see what are the conditions given. The following facts are known about the goals scored by these 4 players only. All the questions refer only to the goals scored by these 4 players. Okay. So these are the conditions given for only these 4 players. Let's see what are the conditions. First, only 1 goal was scored in every even numbered match. Okay. In even numbered match, that means in match 2, 1 goal was scored. In match 4, total 1 goal was scored. In match 6, 1. And in match 8, exactly 1 goal was scored. Next, Harita scored more number of goals than Bimla. Okay. So Harita's total number of goals is more than that of Bimla. So whatever Bimla's score is or goals, total goals are, Harita will have more than that. Fine. The highest goal scorer scored goals in exactly 3 matches including match 4 and 8. Now we don't know who is the highest goal scorer as of now. It can definitely not be Bimla, because Harita scores more goals than Bimla. So Bimla definitely cannot be the highest goal scorer. It can be either A, H or S. We'll see to that. We don't know exactly who is the highest goal scorer right now. So we'll come back to this point again. Next point, Bimla scored a goal in match 1. Okay, so Bimla scored a goal, that means she scored 1 goal in match 1 and 1 each in 3 other consecutive matches. So in other 3 consecutive matches, there are 3 other consecutive matches where she scored 1 goal each. Now those 3 consecutive matches can be 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, so on till 6, 7, 8. We don't know what these 3 consecutive matches are, or which of these are which 3 consecutive matches it is. So we'll again come back to this point. Next, an equal number of goals were scored in matches 3 and match 7. Okay, match 3 and match 7, equal number of goals were scored. Let's say these equal number of goals is X and X, which was different from the number of goals scored in either match 1 or 5. So in match 1 and 5, a total number of X goals were not scored in each of these matches. Right, that is what this point is telling us. Next, the match in which the highest number of goals was scored was unique and it was not match 5. So highest number of goals was a unique number. So obviously it cannot be 1, 1, 1, 1, right? Because 1 is not a unique value. It cannot be X either. So match 2, 4, 6, 8 cannot be the matches where highest number of goals were scored, right? It cannot be match 7 and match 3 because the value is not unique here. Fine. And the question says it is not match 5 either. That means the highest number of goals were scored in match 1. So this value here is the highest value. Obviously it will not be equal to X. It has to be a unique value. So unique highest value. So we'll consider this again. Now, it's given that Bimla scores 1 goal in first match and she scores 1 goal each in 3 other consecutive matches. So, minimum number of goals that Bimla could have scored is 4. 1 for this and 3 goals in the 3 consecutive matches, whichever these 3 consecutive matches are. But the minimum goals Bimla could have scored is 4. If this is the minimum value for Bimla and we know Harita scored more goals than Bimla, then minimum goals that Harita could have scored is 5. So together Bimla and Harita score a minimum of 9 goals, right? And the total goals is 12. So we are now left with 3 goals. If we have 3 goals remaining, how can A and S score these 3 goals? It's possible that either Amla scores 1, then Sarita scores 2, or Amla scores 2 and Sarita scores 1. And since they have to be different, this is the only possibility. No other possibility is there. For example, if let's say this is 4 and this is 6, 4 plus 6 is 10, right? If this is 10, then these two together have to score 12 minus 10, 2 goals. And it is given that all of them score at least 1 goal. Each of them has scored at least 1 goal and each player scored a different number of goals, right? So this cannot be 1-1. This cannot be 0-2 either. So the sum of these 2 goals cannot be more than 9. It has to be 9 only. It cannot be more than 9. So the only values here possible are this is 4 and this is 5. So the minimum case is the only possible case. And then for A and S, if it is 1, this is going to be 2. If this is 2, this is going to be 1. Okay? Fine. Now, since okay, the highest goal scorer now is basically Harita. And for the highest goal scorer, it is known that the highest goal scorer scored goals in exactly 3 matches, including match 4 and 8. So highest goal scorer scored in match 4 and in match 8. So in match 4, a total of 1 goal was scored. The only possibility for Harita here is 1 goal. Same is the case for match 8. Okay. And Harita scores goals in total 3 matches. In exactly 3 matches. So if in 2 matches she scores 1 plus 1, 2 goals out of 5, that is done, then in the 3rd match she must score 3 goals. Now which can be this match where she scores 3 goals? Let's see. Can x be equal to 3? Now if x is equal to 3, let's see if that is possible. If Harita can score 3 goals in 7th match, let's see. If x is equal to 3, then how many goals do we have total so far? 1 plus 3, 4 plus 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 1, 10. Okay, so far the known values are 10, and if x is 3, this must be at least 4. So 10 plus 4, this becomes 14, but the total goals have to be 12. So x becoming 3 basically is going to exceed the goals of total 12 goals. So x cannot be 3. If x cannot be 3, that means Harita does not score in this match. Harita cannot score 3 goals in this match, obviously. Again, x is not 3. Harita cannot score 3 goals in this match either. Can this be equal to 3? Let's see if this value can be 3. So that means in 5th match, at least 3 goals are scored. Now if this is at least 3, and we know x has to be at least 1. At least 1 goal is scored in each matches. So the total that we have so far is 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of 12, 9 goals have been scored. So this value must be 3. So the highest number of goals that was scored in the first match, but it had to be a unique value, but 3 is also here, 3 is also here. It's not a unique value. That means 3 goals scored by Harita cannot be in this particular match. So the 3 scores scored by Harita can only be in this match, and Harita does not score in match 5. So Harita, who is the highest goal scorer, scores in exactly 3 matches, 3 goals in first match and 1 goal each in 4th and the 8th matches. Okay. Now that we know in 8th match only 1 goal has been scored total, and that is scored by Harita. That means A, B, S will not score in this match. Similarly, in match 4, A, B and S will not score, right? Now if you look at point 4, it's given that Bimla scored a goal in match 1 and won each and 3 other consecutive matches. So Bimla scores 1 goal in 3 consecutive matches. Which can be these 3 consecutive matches? It can only be match 5, 6 and 7. So 5, 6, 7. That means at least 1 goal is scored in match 5, 6 and 7. So the least possible value of x is 1 and the least possible value here will also be 1. And in match 6, if total 1 goal has to be scored and that has already been scored by Bimla, so this no goal will be scored by A and S in these matches. Okay? Fine. Now let's see what is the total that we have so far. Fine. So this is greater than equal to 1. This is also greater than equal to 1. This is greater than or equal to 1. So that, and h here will definitely be greater than or equal to 4. This value should be greater than equal to 4. So the minimum sum that we get here so far is 4 plus 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have a total of 11 so far. But we need a total of 12. That means we need to give 1 more, right? As in we need to score 1 more goal. And we are given that in match 3 and 7, equal number of goals were scored, but it is different from match 5. So this value has to be different from these two values, right? So that 1 extra goal that has to be scored will have to be scored over here, because this value cannot be equal to the x value. Hence, this must be 2. So this is 2 and these numbers become exactly 1, 1 and this will be exactly 4. Right? This is the only possible way this condition can be satisfied. So what we have so far is 4 goals were to be scored in match 1. So A and S cannot score. Right? 1 goal has to be scored in match 7, which is scored by Bimla. So A and S cannot score. Right? 2 goals have to be scored in match 5. One of them has already been scored by Bimla. It means the remaining goal can be scored by either Amla or Sarita. And for Bimla, total 4 goals have to be scored. They have already been scored. So Bimla will not score in match 2 and 3. So in match 2 and 3, the 1 goal that has to be scored in each of these matches will be scored by either Amla or Sarita. So we are not sure who is going to score in which match. But we know for sure that Amla Sarita will together score a total of 3 goals. Total they will score 3 goals, right? 1, 2 or 2, 1, but total 3 goals. These 3 goals will be scored by them in match 3, 2, 3 and 5 in any particular order. Okay? So, since we cannot figure out for A and S, let's leave the table thus far. Let's look at the questions. First question, how many goals were scored in match 7? So in match 7, exactly 1 goal was scored. Option D is the right answer. Which of the following is the correct sequence of goals scored in match 1, 3, 5 and 7? So in match 1, 4 goals. In match 3, 1 goal. In match 5, 2 goals. And in match 7, 1 goal. So sequence is 4, 1, 2, 1. 4, 1, 2, 1 is option A. Fine. Next. Which of the following statements is or are true? Let's see. Statement 1. A and S never scored goals in the same match. Which is actually true for the matches that we already know. Match 1, 4, 6, 7, 8. Both of them never scored goal in the same match. And of the match 2, 3 and 5, either only one of them will score a goal. This 1 goal will be scored by either A or S. Same is the case here. And out of these 2, 1 has already been scored by Bimla. So of Amla and Sarita, exactly one of them will score even in match 5 as well. So this is actually true. Both of them do not score goal in the same match. Next, H and S never scored goals in the same match. So let's see. H and S are not going to score goal in match 1 together. Same is the case for match 2. H is not scoring. In match 4, S is not scoring. In match 5, 6, 7, H is not scoring. And in match 6, 7, 8, S is not scoring. So both H and S cannot score goal in the same match. So this is also true. So how many of these statements are true? Both these statements are true. Option D is the right answer. Next, which of the following statements are false or is or are false? Let's see. In every match, at least one player scored a goal. Okay. So we see in every match, at least one goal has been scored. That means at least one player scores a goal. So this is actually true. Next, no two players scored goals in the same number of matches. So let's see. A is going to score either one or two goals. So assuming A scores exactly one goal, so A will score one goal in only one match. B scores goal in exactly 4 matches. Match 1, 5, 6, 7. 4 matches. H scores goals in 3 matches. And if A scores one goal in one match, so Sarita is going to score 2 goals, and both these goals cannot be in the same match. It will be in match 2, 3, 5. 2 of these 3 matches, 2, 3 and 5, right? So Sarita is going to score goals in 2 matches. Or we can switch also. Amla can score in 2 matches, Harita can score in 1 match. But in any case, they both will score in 1 or 2 matches in any order. Harita will score in 3 matches, Bimla will score in 4 matches. So no two of them score goals in the same number of matches. So this statement is also true. No two players scored goals in the same number of matches. But what we had to figure out was how many of them are false. None of them is false. So the answer is option A. None of the statements is false here, right? Fine. So we had this question so far. And finally coming to the last question. If Harita scored goals in one more match as compared to Sarita. So H score goals in one more match than Sarita. So H score goals in 3 matches. That means Sarita must score goals in 2 matches. That means Sarita scores 2 goals. Hence, Amla must score exactly 1 goal. That is the case that has been asked us to conclude. And then we have to figure out how many of these statements are necessarily true. Let's see. A scored goals in consecutive matches. Now A scores only 1 goal. How can it be consecutive matches, right? 1 goal can only be scored in 1 match. So this is definitely false. Next, Sarita scored goals in consecutive matches. We have to figure out how many of them are necessarily true. Not maybe true, but necessarily true. Let's look at Sarita. Sarita scores 2 goals. Now, is it necessary that they have to be in consecutive matches? No. It's possible that Amla scores 1 goal in match 2, Sarita scores 1 goal in match 3 and match 5. This is possible. So Sarita scores 2 goals, but it is not necessary that she will score in consecutive matches. So this is not necessarily true. This may be true, may be false. This may be true or false. So is either of these statements necessarily true? No. So the answer here must be option B. None of them is necessarily true. Right? So B is the correct answer here. So that's it for this set. Thank you.